Getting PR in Canada is not simple anymore. Studying in Canada was one of the most popular ways to become a permanent resident. You get a study permit, graduate, get a postgrad work permit, work for a few years, and then apply for PR under express entry. But things are different now. The high cutoff scores for express entry draws, the lack of draws, and the unpredictability of the draws makes this pathway to PR riskier than ever before. With few options outside of express entry, you might be placed in a situation where your postgrad work permit is expiring and you're waiting for a PR invitation that may never come. I know a lot of people who put all their effort into getting into the country, but then they have no idea what their journey looks like towards getting PR. Life in Canada is not cheap, so you will feel the pain if you're not properly prepared.
Hi people, welcome back to my channel. If you see my face for the first time, my name is Obehi, and on my channel I share life experiences, hoping that you learn something from me and I learn something from you. Today we're just going to be talking about the new immigration law here in Canada. As we know, every country is closing their doors. All countries are basically shutting their doors to immigrants. I remember just after the pandemic, the UK started their post-study work visa, Australia, Germany, almost all the countries in the world had their doors wide open for immigrants to come in because they needed to, get their economy back running. A lot of countries have spent a lot of money on palliatives and folio and all things like that, just to be able to fend for themselves while the pandemic was on. And now that every country is settled, they are all basically shutting their doors. But you know one thing? Their doors are still open to healthcare workers and high in demand jobs. And I know I've said this thing so many times, and people keep saying, Obey, why are you always hammering on the fact that healthcare jobs are, why do you keep talking about healthcare jobs? It only makes sense that I talk about healthcare jobs because these are the only jobs that when you do these jobs, you have a job almost immediately. You don't need to worry about back and forth or all those complications or issues about immigration and things like that. Those things will not be your problem. I remember when I was leaving America, I told myself that I am going to get into a job, into a career that will give me a job regardless of the situation. And I'm in social work. Right now that Canada is closing their doors to everybody, they are still going to give permanent residency to people who are in
Online if your program is eligible for a postgrad work permit. The restrictions applies to all college programs and university programs that's not a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate. The 5 main categories are agriculture, healthcare, STEM, trade, and transport. If your program is not on this list, you won't be eligible for a PGWP, which means that you should be prepared to return home after graduation. Your PR options will be extremely limited without the ability to work in Canada. These restrictions will apply to anyone submitting a study permit application on or after November 1st, 2024.
So you can imagine. So if you are not in this career path, if you are not in these fields, you are technically wasting your time coming to Canada to do students or anything like that. So if you are planning to migrate out of the country in 2025, okay, back it was me leaving Nigeria in 2025 to travel out. If I were the one who was going to travel out to 2025, I tell you, I'll be looking for a skill in one of these areas: agriculture, STEM, transport, healthcare, and trades. So if you're in Nigeria now and you're planning to do another course, please leave them aside for now. Maybe when you've already settled here, you already have your papers, you can begin to pursue that. But if you are coming fresh, please leave all those IT and all those things, leave them alone for now. Go and chase, high in demand positions like trades. Go and learn plumbing, learn something. Because if you are still thinking that in 2025, you will just come and do maybe one course, just any course, and then you're going to get a job, that's not going to happen. Things are changing, and as things are changing, you're supposed to move with the trend. Move with the trend, guys. Thank God I was able to see this early enough. I've always loved healthcare. I've always been a lover of people. I love working with people. I'm somebody that cannot sit behind a desk in an office. This me. I cannot do it. I can't sit behind the desk. I have to be running around helping people. That's who I am. I already knew that healthcare was always going to be in demand. So that was one thing that I always had my mind set on. If I was not going to be a nurse, I was going to be like a social worker, a radiographer, a sonographer, an epidemiologist. I was going to be in healthcare one way or the other, because all the while, every time I've always found out that healthcare workers always have a job. As an healthcare worker, you can actually take a break. You can conveniently decide that, okay, I'm going to work only 6 months a year, take a break. After 6 months, I will go apply for another job and come back to the workforce. It is possible with healthcare. As a social worker in the UK, in Canada, in Australia, anywhere that you are, you can decide to work 8 months a year. And after that 8 months, you will go home. You will relax for the remaining 4 months. And when you are ready, you will just dust your CV and go into the job market. And before you know it, you already have a job. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear me? That's what's going to happen. So in 2025, if you are still, dilly-dallying, and especially for students that are coming to study in Canada, you have to be more strategic. You have to be more strategic. That time of just applying for any course, applying for MBA, marketing, all those things, that time has gone. It's far gone. So you have to move with the trend. You have to be more strategic now. If you are coming abroad to come and study, make sure that you are in these jobs that have permanent residency, that have paths to permanent residency. Because what is the point of you leaving your country and coming all the way to a Western country for you to finish and then have to go back to your country without getting permanent residence? Make it make sense. Please, if you understand what I'm talking about or what I'm saying makes sense to you, please comment in the comment section. I want to hear your thoughts. Leave them in the comment section. What do you think? Does it make sense for you to leave your country and go to a place like the UK and spend 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 pounds for a master's degree program, and when you are done, they tell you to go back to your country? Of recent times, I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, I left the UK and went back to Nigeria because of my mental health. Oh, the UK wasn't just for me. So after I finished my master's, I left. Oh, that thing is a lie. If they had papers with good jobs, they would not leave. Except maybe those people who have, stayed in the UK for a long time. They've saved a lot of money, and they decide they want to go home. Or those people who are like in very... maybe they've gathered some skills. Let me say, for example, doctors, they've gathered a lot of skills. They feel like, oh, if I go back to Nigeria and build my own hospital, I'll make a lot of money. So they decide to go back home. Those are the people that actually... So what I'm just trying to say is that Jackpada has two sets. The people that are Jackpada because there is no way. They did not have a way. I was in that situation at a point. At a point, that was me. I was somewhere and I'm like, okay, now that I'm here, what's next? What's going to happen? I'm like, okay, it's time to leave. I left and I went back to Nigeria. I didn't go back to Nigeria because I just felt like abroad was not good again and it was time to go back to Nigeria. No, that was not the situation. I did not have a means of staying. That was why I left. So when you see people tell you that, oh, they left because of their mental health, of this, of that, don't listen to them. That's not the reason. They left because they didn't have legal papers to stay. So if you are leaving Nigeria in 2025, make sure that you're looking for a course that would give you permanent residency wherever you're going. Even if you don't get permanent residency, at least you get a job, you get work visa, and then you can spend your time towards getting permanent residency. I know here in Canada, if you stay 3-4 years, you can apply for permanent residency. In the UK, if you stay 5 years, I don't know if they increase it now to 7 or 10 years. I don't know. Initially, it was 5 years. But once you stay up to 5 years, you're able to apply for permanent residency. So yeah, if you are going to leave Nigeria in this time, make sure you're looking for a course to study that will give you permanent residency. Like I said, in Canada, it is trades, STEM, healthcare, transport, and agriculture. So if you are not in any of those ones and you come here for your master's program, you're not going to get permanent residency. Today, I am not here to scare anybody. I did not come to scare you. I just came to tell you the truth as it is. Please, another thing is leave agents alone. Do not go and give your money to agents to do visa for you. Do not. Apply to schools yourself. Message those schools. Those schools, they usually have like people that help with admission processes. They have like their admission team. So you send them an email. They'll give you the step-by-step process on how you can get all those things done. Most of these schools, they have like their information section where you can call in, or you join the information, the Zoom, and they will explain to you what the course is about, how much it's going to cost, how you can get scholarship, things like that. Go on those schools' websites, look at those schools, join their information session, get all the information you need, email their admin team, get all the information you need, apply to the schools yourself. And when you're applying for visa too, go to the Canada immigration website, look at the requirements that they need and provide those documents, and fill your form yourself. Leave agents alone. Most times agents, now waiting then go chop, they fine. They're just looking for money to, money that they will use to feed themselves. I'm telling you because I have been a victim. Things like these things have happened to me. I'm not telling you out of them say. It is things that have happened to me myself. And I'm telling you out of that experience that I've had. So you don't make that mistake. Now, that's all I just wanted to tell you guys. Just wanted you to know that in 2025, one gas use brain. You have to use your sense. Don't make the mistake that you made a couple of years ago again in 2025. Times have changed and you must move with the time. Anyway, guys, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. And that is all for today. And until we see you again in the next one. Do have a nice day, guys.